First off, I'd like to thank John, K6MM, for letting me use some of his slides. So where is Palmyra? It's about 1,000 miles south of Honolulu. It's comprised mostly of coral and sand and does contain a 5,000-foot runway, so it has that going for it. It did have a naval air station back in World War II. One thing they did not have going for it was the curse of Palmyra. A lot of sailors used to go to Palmyra and hang there for the summer, including one couple, Mac and Muff Graham, along with another couple, Buck and Stephanie. A ham radio operator on the island of Hawaii became concerned when he lost daily contact with Mac and Muff. A month later, Buck and Stephanie showed up in Honolulu on Mac and Muff's boat. It was disguised, but everybody recognized it, so they were arrested for boat theft. And years later, the remains of Muff were found on the island, so then the couple was arrested this time for murder. Stephanie was acquitted and Buck was found guilty. Now you can learn all about this with a couple of books and even a made-for-TV movie. But the curse does not end there. In 1980, a ham radio DXpedition was heading to Palmyra and crash-landed. Now the YL on the team suffered a spinal fracture and she needed to be evacuated. The rest of the team operated from both Kingman and Palmyra for about 3 days until the team's doctor, a neurosurgeon, suffered lacerations on his hand, and so the entire team was evacuated. But curse or no curse, this team was bound and determined to go. Why? Number 9 worldwide and number 2 in Europe on the most wanted list. And here's a look at some of the items the support team took care of to make sure Palmyra went nice and smooth. And finally, the time came for the on-island team to head off to Honolulu. And here they are, going through all their supplies, getting ready to be loaded on the jet, until the pilot informs them they're too heavy. Only essential personal items are allowed to go in small plastic bags. See the small plastic bag to Jerry's right? That's all he took. And they're off with a flyby over Kingman Reef. I mean, it is on the most wanted list, and it's kind of on the way. And here's their red carpet welcome, Palmyra style. Now the island normally has a population of 6, but with the team arriving, they're now at 15. Here's kind of a map or layout of the island, and along the route to the galley, there's their first look at the campsite. And here's the galley, or the kitchen mostly, an eating area. They had a lot of their meetings here. And there is the staff on Palmyra. And let's take a look at the deluxe accommodations. Believe me, compared to most DXpeditions, these are deluxe. Now here's a look at John's cabin, K6MM's, and most of the cabins were real similar to this. They each had a couple of beds and other amenities. And on this island, there's actually toilets, flushable toilets. But wait, there's more. There's even a shower house and laundry facility on the island, which came in real handy since their personal items could fit in the palm of your hand. But the most important building for us hams is the dry lab, because that became K5P headquarters. It was very spacious with electricity, protected from the elements, even had air conditioning. What's not to like? Now let's check out all the antennas on the island. They had a step IR on the east end, also one on the west end, and a spider beam pole became an 80-meter vertical. And here's their step IR on the north side of the building, and a 2-element vertical array for 20 meters. Now was that hot enough for you, Jerry? But the Palmyra curse rears its ugly head. After raising and lowering the Battle Creek Special 11 times, it is no more. So they turn it into an inverted L for 160. They also erect a shared apex loop as a receiving antenna for 80 and 160. And here's a look at their 6-meter Yagi and the antenna farm from above. When all was said and done, they had used 2,400 feet of coax. And the team was able to get on the air within 10 hours after arriving. And their first contact? JA3EA. And here's a look at the setup for one of the stations on Palmyra. And a glimpse of all of the stations. Unfortunately, the 6-meter station logs 0 cues. And here is your crew. We've got Mike, Hal, and Craig on Team 1. Dick, Glenn, and Tom are on Team 2. John, Lou, and Jerry comprise Team 3. And despite the noise difficulty with the Dragon, here's what we sounded like from Palmyra.
Said 5 to 10 up, Kilo 5 Pacific. Who's the Sierra? Okay, Kilo Charlie 9, Uniform Japan Sierra 59. Thank you. Hotel Charlie 1 Quebec at Radio Charlie 59.
Thank you. Also 1592. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo 7. Bravo Quebec.
Okay, who's the Whiskey Bravo 7? You're 59.
Whiskey Bravo 7. Bravo Quebec. You're 57 in the state of Washington.
Whiskey Bravo 7, Bravo Quebec 5 and 9. Thank you.
Roger, Roger. You're 70. Whiskey 8 Kilowatt Japan.
WA Kilowatt Japan 59.
Thank you, Jerry. 59.
Nice to see you, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you at Dayton.
All right, man.
We'll have a beer.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh, busted. Zone 14, Western Europe, about as far as you can get from Palmyra. And I have no words for this. And here's a look at some of the items they got to eat while they were on Palmyra. And even though the meals were prepared for them, they still had to do a little bit of work on the side. And here's a glimpse of Palmyra's splendor and beauty. And this is where Palmyra gets its power. And here's some cool buildings that still remain intact on the island. And some more wildlife found in and around Palmyra. Now these spiders are big and venomous, but don't cause any serious harm if bitten. And a special thanks goes out to the major donations provided by these sponsors. Well, they're all packed up and ready to go, but where's their ride? Oh, here it comes. And here's a look at the QSO's log by band and mode. And here it's breakdown by continent. And as you can see, they had over 75,000 contacts, 18,000 uniques. A successful DXpedition indeed. Now make sure you look for the full presentation coming to a ham fest or club meeting near you.